Thanks, David. I'm sure you've given everyone a bit of cause for thought there, and backed up my basis for some questions that we'll hear later on. As I mentioned, we'll have questions to all 5 speakers at the end. I'm now delighted to introduce Christopher Trotter to say a few words about the tourism aspect in particular. Christopher is a fresh food fanatic. I remember he once gave me a row for buying strawberries in January. But more importantly, perhaps in today's context, he chairs the Leven Tourist Group, and I know there are some members here, so thanks very much for coming along. Lee Murray, sitting there. And Christopher's going to explore some of the aspects of the tourism attractions and the benefits that these would get from the railway when we open it. Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you. You're going to do it. Thank you very much indeed, Eugene. It's a great privilege to be here, and I've been following Eugene's work over the years because he's been on the committee as well as with me for the Levenmouth Tourist Association. So it's been fascinating watching it develop and progress. So I was thrilled when he asked me if I would come along and talk to you this morning. I've lived in the Levenmouth area, as we'll call it, for 25 years. I actually live in Upper Largo. And I have to admit that it's taken me an awful long time to really get to know this part of the world. Because let's be blunt about it, Leven is not terribly good at promoting itself, because quite obviously a lot of the time people feel very much down on their hunkers and down on their luck, as it were. It's a place which has seen in the past all sorts of glories, and a lot of people feel that those glories are in the past. And I think it's our job to recreate that and get the glories back again, because a lot of what made this place wonderful is still there. And I think that's the most exciting thing. I get very excited by the light over Levenmouth, and I think, but just look at that extraordinary vista we've got there. We've got this little brochure which you've all got in front of you, and we've called it Fife's Energy Coast. But I would also like to think it's Fife's Light Coast. And bringing the railway back to Leven would really open up access for the Fife Coastal Path, which is one of the most remarkable paths in the whole of the world, let alone Scotland. It's a world-class walk. And just, again, look at that phenomenal picture. So can you just... I'll tell you when to move on, Eugene. Look at that phenomenal picture there. I mean, that is the energy there, but the incredible vista which we have here. We talk about Pitt and Weem having the amazing light and the arts festival at Pitt and Weem, which has been going for 30 odd years. But actually, guys, we've got the light and we've got all that, the vistas and the views. We've got a famous beach. 50 years ago, Levenmouth was where everybody came to. It was, we had the railway service and everyone came to that beach. We've got famous golf courses, some designed by James Braid. The Leven Golf Society is the 11th oldest golf club in the world. There must be people who would love to come out of Edinburgh and play on a course like that. The London Links golf course, the ladies' golf course, it's the oldest ladies' club in the world. Again, something else we should be really shouting about. We've got our links to Robinson Crusoe. There's that wonderful statue in Lower Largo, which is literally just a walk away from where the railway would arrive. And we need to build on that and make much more of that. Levenmouth is the largest urban area in Scotland not directly served by a rail network, and public transport link would bring huge economic benefits. So as the chair of the LT, I really am keen to promote the Leven to a much, much wider audience. We could bring in conferences with lots of breakout opportunities for people to go on the beach. We've got theatres close by, we've got recreation, and it's all there. It's just waiting to be connected. So what have we got locally? We've got seals and dolphins. I'm afraid I couldn't find a photograph of dolphins, but these were just taken literally off the coast, just out there. It's incredible, and people would get very excited by that. The light, I'm just going to give you a little quote which is actually in this book. I'm sorry to go on about the light, but I just think it's something really, really special that we should try and consider. This is written for us by David Mack, who is one of the people, as you all know, comes from this part of the world. And he says, stand on Leven Beach and turn your head 360 degrees while you're enjoying the white sand there. Watch the light pour down from the north, over the Lomans. Watch it come up with the sun from the North Sea in the east. Share it with Edinburgh and the opposite coast in the south, and watch it burn the sky as it sets in the west towards Glasgow. Enjoy it. Lap it up. It's the best light in the UK, and it will show you Fife in all its glory. We should have had that picture behind whilst you listen to that. The other person who comes from this neck of the woods is Jack Vetriano, another artist. So there's these links that we can build on. I'm quite convinced, we've had conversations with the committee, that these are kinds of things that we can build on, and Leven is quite capable of hosting events of that level. Next one, please. We've got award-winning beaches, believe it or not. I mean, there's just a great stretch of sand out there, and it goes on and on and on, linking right up with the rest of the East Neuk. And I would like to think that Leven could become the genuine beginning of the East Neuk of Fife. It's dog-friendly. I don't know if you know that Welcome to Fife is trying to really promote Fife as an area for people coming to dogs with. Those are my two dogs planning where their next walk is. You'll note it is a map of Fife. And if you go on the Fife Coastal Path, you'll find that people are putting out water for dogs and poo bags, because that's a really, really important, that we should all clear up after our dogs. But we're a dog-friendly place. Next one. And it's beautiful all year round. I mean, there's Lago Law with the snow on top of it, looking beautiful, reflected in the sea. And you can arrive in Leven, and you can get out into the countryside and walk up that hill, which doesn't take very long. And the views and the vista is phenomenal. So you don't have to go up into the highlands and climb Ben Nevis. You can just come to Leven and climb that hill and see these amazing views. Fife Coastal Path. I mean, this is an obvious one. I've mentioned this obviously already. We've got 117 miles, and the station would bring you right to it. You literally get off the train and you'll be on the coastal path. There's plenty of space, there's plenty of amenities, of things to do, and already there to look after you. Activities on the water. We've got boating, and in Lower Lago there's all sorts of things available to people to be able to make use of. And these things could increase, they could help the local population, the working population as well. So trying to bring more folk into the area would help people to be proud of their Levenmouth and be able to do some of these things. And then inland, of course, we've got the walks inland, quite apart from what we've seen on the water. So we've got the Pilgrimage Way is another thing which is being developed by the Welcome to Fife through Fife Council. And we've got Woodland Trust walks, which I regularly go on with my dogs. We have some of the most beautiful countryside within walking distance. You can walk along the coast to Silverburn. I mean, I know we're represented by Silverburn here, and they've got a wonderful new cafe there called the Cottage Window Cafe. So that is there already for people to walk along to, get a cup of coffee, look over the golf course, see that amazing light as well. And I've just put this because I thought I love that picture of the sea, and I suddenly noticed that my dog's tail is in the left-hand corner. So I thought I would just say the tail is nearly over. I'm obviously I'm not a photographer. My wife is the photographer. So when I take a photograph of my dog, that's what I get. And I'm afraid my heads and hands and feet are also tend to get chopped off. But I still love the photograph because there it is, beautiful, clean, fresh water. This is literally just out there. We have this on our doorstep. It's the most fantastic part of the world. Next one. And I just have to give a bit of publicity for my wife, Caroline Trotter, who took the pictures. So before I get accused too much of PR, come have the last one. So, but what else? What is there here for people to come to? And as I said at the beginning of my little presentation, we've got this extraordinary place called Levenmouth, or Leven, which actually is an area which goes from West Weems right through to Newburn towards the East Neuk. So it incorporates all sorts of stuff. We've got obviously all the history. We've got the Heritage Centre in Methil. We've got all the sort of coal mining heritage which people are genuinely interested in. We're twinned with Bruges, which is a town, sadly not in, I shouldn't say sadly, I'll take that back, not in Belgium, but in France, next to Bordeaux. Just think of the links and the connections we could have with that amazing town there. And if we had a railway link directly from Edinburgh, so they could fly to Edinburgh, get on a train and arrive in Leven really, really quickly. And we've got fantastic entertainment. We've got restaurants. We've got Lee Murray here, who represents 3 businesses. We've got the nightclub Truth, who gets some really exciting young Scottish bands. So it's a very, can I use the expression, a happening place? And I think I've put that there. This is lifted from his website. Even I've heard of the View in Las Vegas. So and I can't be that ancient. And as for 2018, well, watch this space. And when are we going to get the railway as well? We've also got a little cafe called the Lemon Tree. Blackley Side Farm Shop, again, is just literally a walk away along the shoreline to Silverburn and then turn up. So we've got all the infrastructure. We're ready to welcome people. And it really would help, I think, to give the confidence back to the people of Levenmouth if we had this link. We've got the Kino Cinema. I've lists of all sorts of things. I don't want to bore you. We've got a football pitch, for goodness sake, just out there. Golf courses coming out of your head. You know, what more could people want to come to? And if we just had that 6 miles of railway line, Leven could really become a wonderful place for visitors to visit. Thank you.
Thank you very much.